spinning. We begin with breaking news out of Doral. 9 people shot at CityPlace in Doral this morning. 2 are dead. 1 officer was injured. 6 others were also injured at a bar in that vibrant center. The shooting happened just after 3:30 this morning when an argument broke out between patrons.
That's right. We have team coverage this morning on this investigation. Local 10's Trent Kelly with all the reactions. But we first begin with local 10's Joseph Ojo joining us live on this scene with the breaking details. Joseph.
And Andrew, this still does remain a very active scene. Hours after this all did happen at 3:30 a.m. this morning, we can now confirm that 9 people were shot, 2 sadly dying here after an officer-involved shooting here at CityPlace Doral along Northwest 36th Street. What we do know is that 2 Doral police officers, they did fire their weapons, and 1 of the 2 officers were struck by gunfire. Now, police tell us that around 3:30 Saturday morning, they responded to Martini Bar in this complex where a shooting had just took place. We are told an argument happened amongst patrons inside the bar. A security guard stepped in, and then that security guard was shot and killed by the suspect. Uniformed officers were already in this area as part of a late-night security detail. They responded and exchanged gunfire with that suspect, eventually killing him. 1 of the 2 Doral police officers were hurt, rushed to the hospital where they will be okay. Caught in that crossfire, however, though, were 6 innocent bystanders. 4 males and 2 females were injured. 2 at this time are listed in critical condition at this time, and the rest are stable. Investigators are now trying to determine whose gunfire they were exactly hit by. Take a listen to what police had to say just moments ago.
The officer shot and killed the subject. However, the officer also sustained a gunshot wound to the lower extremity.
One of the officers, the one who was struck with 4 years of service, applied a tourniquet on himself immediately after being struck.
Another look at the scene. Investigators here on scene. We do know that 2 investigations are going on at this time. Miami-Dade police investigating the homicide portion of this, while FDLE investigates the officer-involved shooting part of this all. Police telling us that at this time they aren't searching for anyone, and that the public, there's no threat to the public. Everyone is safe, but they do have several people detained at this time that they are questioning to just as witnesses. We're here in Doral. I'm Joseph Ojo. Local 10 News.
A lot going on. Our team coverage continues now with local 10's Trent Kelly joining us live from the scene with reaction. Trent, this is a really busy area normally.
Yeah, if anyone out there is familiar with this area, this is all happening right in the middle of CityPlace Doral, and if you've been out here, you know sort of the central point of this area is that big traffic circle right in the heart of this development where you've got that big fountain, and just off in the distance there you can see the sign for the Martini Bar here in this plaza where all of this we now know started overnight. You can see several officers with the Doral Police Department here protecting the scene as investigators from both the FDLE and the state attorney's office begin to arrive here on scene. Now let's take you out to some video that was posted to social media overnight. This was taken as some of the first officers started to arrive here at the scene. As Joseph just mentioned, we now know this started with a confrontation at that Martini Bar. A security guard killed in that confrontation. That initial shooting, as I mentioned, happening, taking the life of that security guard, but also the suspect later killed after officers arrived here on scene. Let's show you what the scene looked like when police arrived when we arrived, I should say, just a few hours later. Police and crime scene technicians were here, again, focusing on that Martini Bar where we now know all of this originated. As you can imagine, all of this happened very close to several residential buildings that also happen to be in this area, several apartments that line these streets as well, just up above some of these businesses here. And in fact, just a short time ago, I spoke to someone who lives in one of those nearby buildings. He tells me he actually was up and heard those gunshots right around 3:30 this morning. And he says he immediately knew something was wrong. Take a listen to how he described this entire situation.
Around 3:15 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, around there, I heard an initial 3 shots. Didn't really know where it was coming from. I thought it was fireworks. And then I heard probably 10 or 15 directly after that, very, very fast, very, very loud. It was very scary. It was very scary. Yeah.
When you heard that, did you immediately know that that's gunshots?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I also live in the building, so where my apartment is set up, it's pretty close to all the music. It was very loud. I felt it in my chest. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, back out here live. Another look here at the scene here this morning. That man telling me he's lived here for the past 4 or 5 years. And sure, he says there's always some parties and stuff that go on pretty late there at the Martini Bar. But he says nothing like this that he can remember ever happening here, at least in the time that he's been here. Ironically, I can tell you, though, that just about a year or so ago, Doral Police, in conjunction with Miami-Dade Police, actually held a mock mass shooting drill right here at this very same location at Doral CityPlace. In fact, I was here covering it at the time, and some of the officers and the officials who were organizing that whole drill, they actually used some of these very same businesses here right near the traffic circle to stage this mock mass shooting. Now, here we are almost 1 year later, and officers are now responding to an actual shooting. Again, we're just now getting some of that information from police here this morning, but we do know that that suspect and another person were killed here. In addition, those 6 innocent bystanders also getting hit in this shooting here overnight, as Joseph just mentioned. We're going to continue to stay out here at the scene, which, as I mentioned, still seeing investigators arriving here this morning, including several from FDLE and the state attorney's office, as this investigation now continues here this morning. But for now, that is the very latest live from Doral.